Okay, got this new mic. Don't know if it's too close to my. Yeah, I'm just gonna talk like this. I told myself this video would be completely unedited because a couple months ago I told myself I'm not gonna make any more videos. But I saw this video that told me if you feel like the message you have would be better received by the universe, then you should say it, regardless of how many people watch it. Now, should I have listened? Who knows? Maybe you're the judge of that. Maybe I should be the judge of that. Maybe the reason why I'm making this video is because I'm undecided on who should be the judge of that. Like an artist who makes art that no one really likes, but he likes it. And then people grow to like it, or maybe they never grow to like it. But either way, he loved his art, and that was the point of his production of it. Who knows? So I'm 24 now. Actually, in 10 days, I'll be 24. And I really resonate with a lot of these videos on the internet that talk like I'm 32, I have this going on, nothing, blah blah blah, or 40, 20 lessons I wish I knew in my 20s. Like I'm into a lot of these videos now, and it's because I feel a lot of regret in my life because of things I didn't or did not do, or did and did not do. Yeah, English, it's my first language, but still suck at it. Okay, and here's where I'm at. Hear me out. Hear me out. I'm in college. I'm a military member. I look from the outside that things are at least decent. Like I'll end up okay. I'll have some job. They'll pay me some money that I'll be able to afford my rent. But that wasn't what I dreamed of a couple years ago. That's the dilemma. It's like I wanted so much and got so little, and I feel very confused. So I internalize it and I say, maybe I need to work harder, or maybe I need to be more patient, or maybe I need to seek better opportunity, or maybe I need to change the course of my career. But the thing is, I like to write. There's not much money in writing, but I love to write. It's my thing. And it's what I love. I don't know how to explain it. It's just something about digging on a certain topic. The learning that you get from that is just an insane thing. So I think part of it is knowing what you're good at, but at the same time, knowing what you're good at doesn't exactly guarantee you that you know you're going to make money out of it. I was having a discussion in class the other day that I would change my major now if I could. If I could go back in time, I would change it to finance, or I would change it to marketing or business, because that seems where the money's at. That seems like you want money, you're going to do something along those lines. Do I really believe that? No, I don't really believe that. I don't want to even think of that. That's lame. That's not what I want to do. Everything I've done in my life has gotten me to here for a reason. But I'm in this boat where, again, it's Sunday night. I'm applying to 3, 4, 5, 6 internships. I do it every week, and I don't get any callbacks. I started an Excel sheet, and I'm up to like 80 something jobs, which I know is not a lot. People have more. I get it. God bless. That's since around beginning of August. That's since then. It's now October. And I've had some interviews, haven't gotten the job. Don't know why. I can tell you theories along the lines of my race, my gender, my identity, my personality, whatever. But at the end of the day, I did not get the job. So who cares, quite honestly? So I struggle every day because I wake up and then I go to class and then I hear internships that I applied for, and my classmates are talking about their experience doing them. And I'm like, man, what did you do to be able to get that job? And I don't know what it is. Like, I can say that it's their experience or something, grades or something, but in the back of my mind, I don't believe that. My grades are good, and my experience is pretty vast. I mean, I've worked in a lot of different things. So, when you're 24, I guess this is what you're supposed to feel. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not even 24 yet. This is 10 days away. It's a precursor to my sadness that's about to come here in 10 days because I don't like my birthday. I don't celebrate it. Islamically, we don't celebrate birthdays, but personally, I just don't like birthdays. I'm also getting the hang of this new mic. I ordered it off Temu. Dude, Temu is the stuff. I'm not gonna lie. Temu be having the deals. Like, just don't order nothing too extravagant because it'll show you something for $1 million, but they'll show you the same thing for $10. It's so weird, just to try to trick you. So, what can I offer in this video? And I'm gonna offer you my life story. I'm gonna offer you something that is invaluable to me, but may have some limiting value to you. And it's gonna really start. I left home around 15, so we're gonna start there because things that happened before then are a little too private for me to talk about. But we can talk about this. So I left home at 15, and since then I became like what I would call a dreamer. I told myself that the podcast I started was called Dreamer. You can still find it on Apple Podcasts. And I named it that because I dreamt so big. When I was getting out of high school, I applied to NYU, I applied to Syracuse, got denied from both, but I got into Ohio State. And I soon learned the value of money. And that's what intertwined it into my goals, but also what kind of made my confidence into a downward descent because I started to realize how important money is. I told myself all the time when I was younger, money didn't matter. And I regret those things now because money does matter. But to an extent, ideally, it shouldn't matter. And I keep reminding myself of that because you hear quotes of like, do what you're passionate about for long enough and it will make money for you. But that's for the select few that achieve that. Just like when I'm in class and I hear people get the job I applied for at the radio station, it's only going to be a select few that get the job. That's the scary part of life. So around the age of like 17, I really decided like I want to be a journalist. That's what I do. I was never the best writer ever, but I wanted to be a journalist. It's all I wanted to do. I like the idea of living through history. And I dreamt of going overseas and covering conflicts and being in the middle of very harsh situations and hearing the cries of the silent and just enveloping myself in that environment. And I don't know why. It just seems like my thing. Like when someone, I am in the military, so I've heard some people talk about like these like ranger dreams. Like they want to be a ranger, they want to be like a SEAL, or they just want to do all this badass shit in the military. That's never been my goal. But when I think of like what badass thing I want to do, it really is I want to be around conflict and I want to cover the actual lives on the ground. That's kind of what like that gets me off. I don't know. It makes me dream. But again, it doesn't make money unless you get there because there's 1,000 journalists that work at local publications probably around you. And at the rates that local news is declining, they don't make much money. And honestly, financially, they're not worth that much money. You pick a select few, and the rest of them are pretty dispensable. So let's say 18 now, I'm thinking like I'm going to go to college for sure. After I got over my ACT score and I realized my life was hard, I was like, you know what? Maybe I could still get into a good institution. So I do that and I apply in Syracuse, NYU, University of New Hampshire, and Ohio State. I just applied anywhere and everywhere, a bunch of schools. I just wanted to get away from my hometown. So I ended up getting Ohio State and I dropped out because my money situation was not in line with their tuition requirements. What the hell? Like, duh, I had no money. But at the time, I really felt like I went. I remember driving to Columbus, knowing I didn't have the money to pay for school, and still thinking, I'm going to go do it. And I'm just like, why? Why did I do that? Like the gall in layman terms, I had the balls to do that. I could not do that today because I know how being broke feels, and that sucks. I don't want to be in credit card full debt in. Like I had 4 credit cards one time full. Like nah, I'm not trying to do that again. I'm not trying to go back there. But at the same time, let me take you to that famous interview with Steve Harvey. You remember that interview where he's talking about that phone call and he had no money and then he got the call, he called his pager and then all of a sudden he had $75, and all of a sudden now he did a second night and he has 150, and then he books the plane ticket to the Apollo, and then all of a sudden now his life takes off. I thought that was in the cards for me. I thought that was going to be an event that happened so early in my life that I wouldn't have to worry about the ups and the downs along the way. And that's the thing I think I was missing back then, is just knowing the things come slowly, real slow, so slow you don't think they're moving, but they're moving. I can see tiny progressions in my life every day, but they're not the progressions that I dreamt would be there, say 6 years ago. And it's that immaturity that I'm kind of thankful for, because it forced me to take maybe bigger steps or bite off more than I could chew, because I needed that experience. I don't know what is it, what I don't know what the value is. Like, I couldn't explain it to someone. I would never tell someone to do what I did. I would never tell someone to sleep in their car on orientation day because they couldn't afford to stay in the dorm for $75. Like, I I, I couldn't explain that. Like, but I needed that. And that's something that I can't get over, because it's either going to be a reflection of a life that was messed up because of overambition, or good stories to tell later. And it's going to sound like the heroic journey that all these celebrities, and like when The Rock said I had like what, $7 or something in his pocket. Like you want to emulate that, but at the same time, emulating it doesn't guarantee nothing. And that's the scary part. So after I drop out of Ohio State, I'm around 21 years old. I start working in the restaurant scene. Now I'm just fully enveloped in the night service, in the, what's it called, uh, the industry. That's what they used to call it, the industry. So I'm serving tables, I'm bussing tables, I'm hosting, I'm doing whatever, expo line. I'm just working at this fancy restaurant, dressing cool, wearing nice cologne. Like, I'm just living an imposter life. Like, I'm trying to be rich. I'm trying to act rich and talk rich and be around rich, but really I'm just the busboy. And I started to resent that. So I said, you know what? After a year and a half, I want to go back to school. So I apply and I apply and I apply, and I find Louisiana. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go LSU. Bang! They give me a nice offer. I don't know why. Whatever, who cares? I come and I join here, and I think that when I come back, I'm going to conquer the world, because this is my second chance. But then I come back and I realize I'm old. Like, I'm in these freshman classes, I'm bordering 23 years old at this point. I'm old. Like, I'm 5 years older than some of these kids. Actually, I met kids who are 17. So again, I'm going through the same self-confidence issues. I'm like, am I really going to make it? So presently, I'm 24, entering my senior year. Not entering, I am in my senior year. And again, I'm thinking, am I going to make it? My grades are good. Things are all right. My teachers like me. I'm a better writer than I was a year ago. But again, I'm going through the same things. Am I going to make it? But I started to ask myself very recently, I'm talking like a month ago, what is make it? Like, what is this make it? Like, what are you dreaming of exactly? Like, this social media stuff will consume your mind to a point where you didn't make it if you don't got a Ferrari. But then I think, what would I do with a Ferrari? Like, I would look cool. Everything around me would be artificial. Now, if I earn the Ferrari and I like to day drive it, I'm a car guy or something, that's, no shame. But I'm just dreaming the Ferrari as a status symbol. Why am I doing that? Like, it's actually unintelligent. It's unproductive. It's unintelligent. It's not like the ideal form. When they say, like, not to be too religious, but when they say, like, live like Jesus, eh, you're not humble. It's not a humble life. It's not something that you would want for yourself. Because if you chase things for status, it's an obvious lesson. Like, as if you're still watching this, you know that. Like, it's common sense to know that you shouldn't chase things for status. But I want you to think of it in like the terms of a fraternity. So I recently wrote an article for the school newspaper about abolishing frat life. Now, I know you can probably guess where I went, but I'm here to tell you I didn't go there. I didn't talk about misogyny. I didn't talk about racism. I didn't talk about rape culture. I stayed away from all that. The main idea of the article was the circumvention of the pursuits that we're trying to get out of college. So, the pursuit of romantic appeal, the pursuit of frequenting nice places, the pursuit of sociability and status. You get like a premature dose of that being in a Greek life, fraternity, sorority, whatever. And while you do a lot of good things, community service and raising money for various causes, it's like the Grimm brothers, the people who wrote all like the fairy tales that we know today, when they said, don't read your child all the fairy tales at once. And that's what being in a Greek life from afar looks to me. It looks like you're getting all the stories all at once. It feels very high schoolish. It makes me cringe, to be honest. Like, it makes me cringe. Like, I know the guy who, hates from outside the club, as Chris Brown said, like, he's just hating. But really, it makes me cringe. Like, the other day I saw a group of frat boys dressed as cows. And I mean, like, not a group. I mean, like, a herd. No pun intended. Thousands. I mean, it was hundreds of them. Like, it really was a lot. Made me cringe. Like, what are y'all doing dressing like cows? But, that's their thing. And no hate. But it makes me cringe. Just, it's high schoolish. So I'm back to the same idea. Will I make it? And I'm not making this video for reassurance, but it's a dilemma I feel like is no way unique to me. There's no way. I'm a regular person. I really view myself as more similar to people every day, the more I grow. All the unique shit that I used to feel, that ended a long time ago. And I'm glad it did. Because I don't want to be unique. I don't want to be special. I don't want to be anything. I just want to outwork you. Because we are the same. They say the little things matter, but you have to ask yourself why. It's not the extra work that you put in, it's just differentiating actions that make you succeed or put you in a better position to succeed. We all know people that should have made it in various ways, from sports to industries to, good grades, but got into bad things. Like, the little things that matter just represent the tiny actions that you do, whether positive or negative, that affect your positioning in the end. And that's what I want to hang my hat on. So if you're 24 or 25 or 22 or 21 and you're struggling in life, or you're not struggling, because it's hard to complain about this stuff sometimes, because it's just an honest discussion about how hard it is to contemplate your future success and not hinge that success upon status symbols or like artificial, values that you've placed in your mind that you need, but really you're just looking for contentment in a career and, building a nice home with your family and all the small stuff that, we learn not to see in the limelight because social media doesn't, emphasize it. So if you're in that boat, man, stay strong, because I'm right there with you. We're sailing along. Tides are sharp. I don't know if that even made sense. I'm not a boat guy. I've never been on a boat. I know I live in Louisiana, but I've never been on a boat. I'll knock that out next. I got you. But thank you for watching. My name is Muhammad Tantawi. This is an unedited clip, a personal clip, and I hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.